Can you hear me now? 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 Okay, I actually can hear me on there. So all right. Okay, cool. I just went out of the studio and went back in. I don't know. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. Uh it happens to everybody. Uh but unfortunately it happened to me this time. Um Well, as I was saying before the mic so rudely interrupted me and was trying to bring out the maniac in me. Uh, okay. Everybody knows um, there were some good things, some bad things in the game last in game three against Minnesota at Minnesota. Divisional divisional game. To me, the best team did not win that game. The best team should have won that game, and that was the Detroit Lions. All right, they hands down. Uh, we had people that goes. We have a special mentions as far as for the maniac dud, and of course, the biggest maniac dud as far as for coaches needs to be Dan Campbell. I know he's new. I know he's a second year head coach, but he lost to a first year head coach. But granted, the first year head coach team has been more set than what the Lions have. The Lions play for him. So, hey, that part is good. But in game time, you gotta not do what your predecessors before done and lose these games by your decisions. Am I calling for Dan Campbell to be fired? Hell no, I'm not. I think he's learning, and I think that he's going to be um, the coach that's going to get us over the hump, that's going to get us to the playoffs, that's going to go ahead and rebuild this team. So I'm definitely not calling for his firing, but I am calling for him to get off the Detroit Lionize deal where you get so bewildered in trying to win games that you make stupid decisions. Because we have seen that in every coach. Yeah, thank you, Grandizer 12. But fans, take it easy. Please take it easy. Be patient. I know. I know it looks bad. I know it looks ugly. Yeah, and I am going to give you guys the good, the bad, the ugly. All right, definitely going to do that. Now the good. Hey, I'm Rod St. Brown. Jamal Williams. Definitely good. We had running games. DJ Shark, he showed up. He caught the ball. TJ Hawkinson went ahead and caught the ball. I'm I mean that we got touchdowns. We were able to get in. We were able to use some trick plays to go ahead and go downfield. Jared Goff looked for the most part good. He did not lose his game for us. There was no way you can blame that game loss on Jared Goff because it was not his fault. I mean, so Jared Goff was the quarterback. Was the quarterback that we needed during most of the game, but the quarterback that we needed to finish the drive would have been Matthew Stafford because we do know how Matthew Stafford can go ahead and finish those last second game winning drives. But that's gone to us for good. We're I never gonna have Matthew Stafford back. I never see him coming back unless he's like at the end of his career, but I think he's gonna end that in And I'm not calling for Matthew Stafford to come back or to fire Jared Goff. That's not it. Okay. But what I am saying is that this offense was clicking for some reason. All right. It just ended up where they couldn't get out of their way. It went from from being a team that they could almost score at will at first. I think they stopped scoring way too quickly. I think they changed their game plan, uh, and it just didn't work. I mean, it just uh, they went away from the run too quickly. The run was working. Uh, I- Amane Oruwariye, oh my God, he practically gave the momentum. I mean, not only did he have, I mean, this is the ugly, the bad. Not only did he have a bad game by going ahead and getting all those what penalties, six penalties. I mean, come on. Now his counterpart Okuda shut down corner, proving to be what we want him to. Unfortunately, he got hurt last year, so year three, Okuda, hey, he's vying for that Maniac Player of the Week. Okay, because of how he's been doing and how he's been playing. All right, but Warrior, he's planning for the Maniac Dud of the Week. All right, all right. Okay, yes, but the Vikings have better roster too. Yeah, and I did definitely say that they do. They have a better roster. Um, Getting used to the new system, but still, you can't go ahead and I mean, yeah, this is he was as we were saying he was first year coach, definitely better roster. Inherit where Dan Campbell he inherited nothing. All right, so this team is being built by Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. Some of the question though, as far as in rebuilding of the two of them, and that's a little bit of ugly, is where you have brought in hurt players too. Once Williams gets back, though, man, this gonna help out. All right. Yes, but yeah, okay, I already read that one. All right, the fans have to give Dan Campbell some slack. Yes, they do. Uh, and that's one thing that I mean, there's so many, the fans and the media and everybody they do, because one of the most thankless jobs as far as for head coach in the NFL is the Detroit Lions. Because if you cannot make in the Detroit Lions, a lot of coaches don't go on after that to become head coaches. Because you gotta, not only do you gotta contend with the tradition of losing year after year, coming up with a uh, roster that can win, changing the belief in your system from being the same alliance to being a contender, a team that can get it done. And then you also got to deal with the media. You got to deal with the fans. No, that's part of any team. But the Lions fans, because of uh of for so long, they've had a bad team for so long, more or less since the '91 year. You know, uh, when they went ahead and it looked like they were going to peak. I mean, there was a couple there too when Matthew Stafford got us to the playoffs. All right, so things look like they might be good, but then every time we've been yanked back down. So you got to deal with that. You also got to deal with the officiating. I'm not blaming the officiating at all for costing us the game. I'm not saying that. was not what happened. All right. Uh, it was bad decisions, and it was also some bad play by the defense. Uh, Formerly mentioned, of course. Um, on 4th and 1, you do not throw down the field when that late in the game. I mean, that's just stupid. All right. When your field goal kicker, you know, is not Eddie Murray, is not Cyber, or is Cyber, is not does not have that distance and is also hurt. All right. You don't go ahead and rely on him to win that. I mean, yeah, it would have been 6 points. It would have forced them to get a touchdown anyway. But you gotta know what's gonna happen if you miss the field goal. You gotta know field position in the end of the game is very, very, very important. Very important. I mean that, especially when you're going with a team that has a weak secondary, weak linebackers. All right, uh, you can't give away that team. You can't give the ball that close. There's no way. He should have went for it. I mean, he knows it. He went ahead, and one thing about Dan Campbell, he owned it. He owned it. But we also got to remember, you got to take the good with the bad because he is our coach. But it doesn't give him a free pass on everything. If Dan Campbell's coaching costs the game versus the Seahawks, then could cause it called for concerns. Yeah, they got Pete Carroll, but the talent is better for the Lions. Yeah, uh, the talent is, yeah, definitely better. Plus, we're at home too. Uh, we do know that the Seahawks are in a more or less a full rebuild. They're not looking to win anything this year. There's been also some talk of tanking too there, but I don't I don't want to say for sure the Seahawks are going to. You can't expect that to happen. You got to expect to go in there to be playing a team that is going to be a team that is going to try to beat you. So you got to put everything all out. One of the bad news too is injuries. Injuries, injuries, injuries. I would definitely have the water checked on what's going on in Detroit. Although they probably all drink healthy water and it's probably not coming from the fountain, but there is something that's going on where there's so many injuries in this in the way the Lions do things. Okay. All right, I have a request to unleash the maniac. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah. Maniac. This, Dan Campbell, all the bad press you are getting right now, you got to own it. And you have owned it. You have owned it. And hey, it's just going to make you tougher. Now, how can Dan Campbell correct and make it up to the team? Win. Winning heals all wounds. It's getting harder and harder each week, even though we are playing a even though we are playing a weaker team next week. We have injuries. DeAndre Swift, now he has a second injury, shoulder strain. He still has an ankle injury. He's expected not to be in that game. So that's our star running back. There's no question about it. Uh, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's injured too. I don't know what his status will be. Tracy Walker, out for the year. All right, we all seen the game, so we all pretty much knew when we seen that happen to him that because of his Achilles that he would be out for the year, which really hurts. You know, the offensive line is still dealing with injuries. So, but we just gotta get through 2 more games, then we get to bye. All right, so we can get. Injuries are very bad. Yeah, the news is how the Detroit Lions plan to replace Tracy Walker after a torn Achilles. Detroit Free Press. Tim was there. Yeah, yeah. How are they going to do it? I know Dan got some. One thing, Dan's been a miracle worker, and Brad Jones as far as in getting the people ready to play for the most part. But when a star like that goes down, you know, piece on the team like Tracy Walker, it's gonna hurt. But Def, you know, he's been able to make it work. So if this is the only game we lose in the NFC North, it would be great. I think that with the injuries, the NFC North is going to be a lot tougher to win now. However, hey, I definitely want to beat Green Bay at 2 times this year. That would be awesome. That would be great. I want to thank everybody who's listening and who tuned in today. I see that I had 3 visitors watching my stream. I appreciate you for coming in. Tell your friends about it. Also, if maybe tomorrow we'll try to get a guest on too, as far as for a live guest. I got to talk to some people at work and also talk to some other content creators. I want to try to get a guest to be on my show tomorrow. I don't know if I can. But in saying this, Dan Campbell just needs to have us prepared, which he has been. But then we do got to get better decisions. We do got to change forward. And we do heck, you got to know what's going on the team at all times. Because, hey, it's just the way it is. You just gotta do it. Yeah, sorry, I lost the camera for a second. But okay, looking forward. How are we going to beat the Seahawks with Tracy Walker gone? I do gotta study some more and see how they plan on replacing Tracy Walker. It's just my this week I should have more time. Tomorrow I will prepare a much better show tomorrow. Okay, why is it too early to be concerned about Dan Campbell as a game manager? Pride of Detroit. Yeah, and Tim was there. Yeah, why is it too early to be concerned? Well, this is his second year, and he is also learning. Second year head coach definitely does not have his players all set. But he got his players playing for him. Eventually if you trust the more you stay with something, the better you should be getting. So I think as far as being patient with him, if he learns from if he learns from his mistakes, which most people do, all right, then that changes. That changes on how you're going to do things. You think of what goes on, what went on last, what you did wrong last game, what you could have done better. You learn from that. You go from that. You take that, you put that behind you, and you go ahead and you change, you learn. And I mean, yeah, he's still learning. He loves his team. He wants he wants to win very badly. He wants to be a winning coach. But remember, he came to Detroit wanting to make a winner out of Detroit. No, not just wanting for Dan Campbell to be a winner, but he wants Detroit to be a winning franchise. So this is the reason it is too early in my book to go ahead and get rid of Dan. Now we're seeing things like this, as Grand Driver said, in next week's Seahawks game. If we see stuff like that again, then we gotta start being wondering and being concerned. You know. All right. Why Jared Goff deserves some of the blames for the Viking loss. Why Jared Goff must be more aggressive as a leader of the Detroit Lions offense. Sports Illustrated. Yeah, he needs, and yeah, he needs to. But I'm sorry, I disagree. From what I've seen, this team, you got to look at how Jared Goff came to the Lions. Basically, his whole team said, "Hey, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. So we're going to go ahead and replace you." And no, it was not an even trade for Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff. Lions went ahead and they got Jared Goff and two, you know, two draft picks for him. So that just proved that it was not an even. So, let's just face it. And he had a a team that was great and built around him. All right, in um, in L.A. I almost said San Francisco, but I knew that was wrong. So in L.A. and he came to a team last year that he had to go ahead and uh, get acquainted with. All right, he ended up needing didn't have the receivers at first. You know, uh, he went ahead and helped on Ron St. Brown and his connection. Also Reynolds with he proved that he can be there. Timing, he didn't have a lot of time to play during regular games this season. During the preseason because the front team was cap out and that the starting team was cap out. So their camaraderie in game time there wasn't a lot, but with game three, you do gotta start getting better. But I don't blame. Okay, homebound. All right, I don't know if they really deserve this, but yeah. But I'm a Lions fan, so homebound Lions forward beat Seattle by a touchdown. Yeah, we are favored in a home game for the first time in nearly 2 years. True. Yeah. All right. And hey, and that needs to be concerned too. All right. That definitely needs to be of concern because just because you're favored to win, you can't sit back on your ass and not do it. All right. Sorry about the profanity. Uh, but you cannot just you gotta still play with the same amount of intensity that you played in order to win this game with some better decisions in order to do it. Lions Lions weighing options with injury DeAndre Swift, including shutting him down through the bye. Detroit Lions. I can kind of agree with that. I can hey dress him. All right, have him there just in case. Just in case. But as far as for I want to see him healthy. We do got we do got options. Our running back core is not it's going to take a hit when you got DeAndre Swift there than when you don't. But for long term, you got to look at the long term. The hardest part of our season is after the bye. Will it be better to go ahead and set DeAndre Swift down for these two games, bring him back against Dallas after the bye, and then, you know, I can see it. I If you do play him very, very limited, but I think it's probably in my mind if the decision was up to me, and of course I would need to have the access that I would that Dan Campbell. I think that I would sit DeAndre, and I'm not gonna bellyache if he does, because I think you gotta look. It's better to have him later in the year and get him as healthy as you can get him. You know, And if he'll be healthy after the bye, hey, send him these two games. Then you have the bye week. Come back. We have him re-energized to go ahead and face Dallas. All right. Jamal Williams was pissed after the celebration penalty. I don't blame him. I was pissed too. I've been doing that forever. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Green Bay can get away with a Lambo leap. We see people go ahead and doing the crab on the field and stuff like that. You don't get penalized for that crap. We go ahead and seeing the screenshot that the whole Bears team was doing last year. On the field every. I mean, it's having a little bit of fun. I mean, that was stupid as hell for the refs to do that. I mean, that was ugly officiating. That okay, yeah, and okay. You want to know what brought out the maniac in me against the Vikings or at the Vikings game, watching the Vikings game? There was a lot of things that brought out the maniac. First sounded good, the way we were playing, the way we should have won the game. All right, that brought out the maniac in me. But the overpowering that brought out the maniac in me later on was the refs when they do stuff like that. The refs go ahead and I mean, it's just like a slap in the face. Shut up, kid, because you're happy. I mean, that's stupid. All right, Lions news. Dan Campbell offered a message to Lions fans after the rough loss in week 3. Yes, he did. All right. In the aftermath of the disturbing the Detroit Lions loss that brought more than a few cries of shame, same old Lions. Yeah, but he owned it, and that's the thing. He didn't go ahead and blame it on other. He didn't say my assistants did this. He said no, I did this. I made the call. He owned it. He owned the loss. But now, change what you did. Own that loss, but change what you did. Accept it, move forward. What is Detroit Lions' most pressing issue so far? Injuries. Injuries now. Also that shutdown. That having that shutdown corner on the other side of Corey. That's you got to find somebody opposite Okuda to go ahead and make that. And also, linebacker, defensive line. Man, there are so many pressing issues. And I'll tell you what, some of the running backs are pressing issues too. I mean, I won't say most pressing issues, but some of them need better vision. Where instead of just running right into the other player, you're in the defense, there's places on the side where you can go ahead and scamper to. You know, that that uh that one uh that one play where Williams goes ahead and runs right into the defensive line on that fourth down. Shoot, what the hell? So I think there's there needs to be said. We've seen on Hard Knocks where they were teaching the running backs more vision. Well, the running backs needs to have some better vision. But I think the more pressing is on the defensive side of the ball, though, too. All right, power rankings. Lions not pushing greatly after they lost. Yeah. Wow. Detroit Lions. What can we say? What can we do? I didn't really have time to read too much of what went on in Lions news yesterday. I caught up a little bit, but tomorrow. I'll do a stream which will have more details. I'm looking at I may do something tonight after work. I'm not exactly sure if I can, but tomorrow I plan on having a stream at 10 a.m. I'll get this going at 10 a.m. and I'm going to have a more updated version on how the lives are going to look. Because I definitely need to take a look at some of the stuff. Tim, where are your glasses? I got to order a new pair. I mean, I do got glasses, but I mean, it's just the glare on the light it really makes it bad. So yeah, I do need to order some. Are you getting ticked? Am I getting ticked? Yes, I am getting ticked because we are, and we're not the team. Okay, we are basement dwellers alone in the basement in the NFC North. So yes, am I getting ticked? The Lions are a better team than this. There's no way we should be. Oh, am I getting sick? I think it's more allergies. That's what I think it is. Thanks for the concern. But yeah, I do got the sniffles and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm probably not going to be on here too much longer today because it's just it's shoot. I'll be right back real quick. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I did need to take care of some things, but God, I hope not. Okay. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm not going to be on here too much. And more or less took care of that. Uh, but okay, so the Lions are uh, and of course that's one of the reasons this show is so late because it's just I to tell you the truth, I have not been feeling that great. Uh, I've been doing I've been finding out a lot what Jim was going through in trying to run a show. Uh, on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, he did a lot of the stuff while I went to work, and so it's believe me, it is work to put in a show. My graphics ain't as good as I would like it, uh, but I'm definitely going to probably in the next few minutes end the show only because of my health. But shoot, the Lions, yeah, we just really need to not overreact. And yeah, I know the fans. The fans are, are hungry. And then we got a taste of respect, a taste of victory when we beat the Commanders. And I think that's why it's it's so hard when it's so hard. And when losing to a opponent like Philadelphia, it's a little bit easier to lose to Philadelphia than it is to lose to a team like Minnesota because they're divisional rivals, and they have, if you look at the record, they have more wins against us. So it's it is what it is. So and I think that's why, you know that is why it's so bad that we lost to Minnesota, even though it was at Minnesota. You know, our hopes were gotten off. Hey, we're going to win this. Uh, a few more things would have went our way. We would have did a few things different. Then we could have we could have won the game for sure. Yeah, it's a lot of work. One, to reach as many news articles out there. Yeah, for sure. Watch the game after really get plugged in. Definitely. There are a lot of content creators who just want to talk in front of the mic. There are a dime a dozen, or ones who goof around while they are on. For some of that, it's okay, but no, taken seriously. Yeah, that's true. And one of the things that uh, was noticed, and as you guys will notice on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, it's done more like a reporting show, opinion show. People go ahead and they give they give their opinions, evaluate things. And that's why those people are on there. That's why Kurt Steele is on there. That's why Coach Jones is on there, and that's why Al Torrance is on there every day because they are good at what they do. You know, one of the things that I think is it's great is that uh, you looked at Jim always thought that if he was to pass, that Lions on the Prowl would not last. But due to help of, and I do gotta give credit to Lions Nation Unite, and in backing Val, and Also, Kurt Steele stepping up and doing a lot of the stuff that Jim was doing. Uh, Detroit Lions under Prowl was able to stand and to really you know, become the show. Jim was informed. He had a sense of humor, that's for sure. His roar at 4 was really good, yeah. He had a very good balance, definitely. It was a gold standard more so than it should strive to like that. More shows should try to be like that, for sure. Don't waste the viewer's time. That's for sure. Definitely. And he looked at. I mean, I'll tell you, there's so many things that he had planned uh, that probably won't ever get off the ground. One of the things he had plans was Boss Network. Boss Network was going to be eventually was going to be a show where you brought in uh, other people to talk about other teams, other sports, and help. But he would have needed to become more financially stable, and the show Lions on the Prowl would have needed to become more financially stable for him to do this. But he was going to go ahead and build a community and a network of other podcasters to cover different events later on. And that was going to be not under Detroit Lions on the Prowl, but that was going to be under Boss Network. I wanted to be informed. Drive into the new or dive. Sorry, yeah, I need glasses. Dive into new news. Keep the options open till later. These shoutouts, exactly. We can't. We can wait till later. Tune in to be informed, not hear about or abs. Yeah, shout outs or ads. Yeah, and that change as that change as Detroit Lions under Prowl grew. His focus changed, and when brought in Kurt Steele being trained, uh, going through school for this, that changed a lot of the things. Uh, I just wish he would have been here, see how it is now. But I have definitely the most respect for him. The guy he was really, excuse me, he was really smart uh, in a lot of things, and he loved to talk. He did. I mean, that was one of his attributes. He loved to talk, and he did try to do uh, some, like for a while he was doing a Red Wing show, but he decided, at least until he could get Detroit Lions under Prowl uh, more focused, that he stopped doing the Red Wing show and just concentrated on the Detroit Lions under Prowl. That's basically what he did. Uh, but I do think that I am going to end the show for today. I do want to come back and have a better show tomorrow. Uh, this week is going to be a busy week for me, for sure. Uh, but I want to thank everybody. I want to thank anybody who listened, uh, anybody who definitely took the time to share. I'll tell you, I really had to force myself to actually get up and do this. I might be fighting a cold. I don't know, but allergies has really this time of the year is just when allergies just go ahead and take over. Here goes the runny nose again. I know that's why I more or less. Oh shoot. Sorry you heard that, but oh, there it goes again. But in saying that, all right, I'm going to go ahead and tell my thank yous. Uh, Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bear with me. uh, this show, I have changed a lot of things in my life as far as what I'm doing in order to make my show better because I want to make it better. So I've been trying to do the work. Now, what brings out the maniac in you? Right now, what brings out the maniac in me is I'm about to sneeze, so I pretty much got to get off the air. But yeah, Lions losses brings out the maniac in me on the bad side. But yeah, I got to get going. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Go Lions.